Wish you knew how to beat 2 defenders at once? Want to know exactly how to double the number of goals you get each season when you have no supporting help and you're attacking a 1v2? Then stick around for soccer tutorials for a 1v2. Hello, for meeting for the first time, I'm Dylan Joseph, soccer trainer and #1 best-selling Amazon Understand Soccer book series author, and I've been training tens of thousands of soccer players for well over a decade. The Understand Soccer channel commitment is to post 1 video weekly demonstrating the soccer skills that a soccer player needs and exactly what situations to use those skills, how to practice them, all in an effort to build your soccer confidence. Hit that like button, subscribe, and hit that bell notification icon to join the soccer squad and to avoid missing any future videos on building your soccer confidence. Make sure to stick around to the end of this video for a pro tip on when you should shoot versus when you should keep on dribbling when you're attacking in a 1v2 against 2 defenders. So what are we covering today? Soccer tutorials for a 1v2. So for that first point for today, something you gotta consider as a good defender, if I'm going against 1 attacker and I've got 2 defenders, I'm gonna try to push that attacker into my other defender. So he's gotta beat 4 legs. He's gotta beat 2 people and not just 1, he or she. Whereas a good striker is gonna try to make it a what? A 1v1. They're gonna only try to take on 1 person, make it easier for themselves, increase the probability that they're gonna have a success so that they can get that shot off or continue to dribble so that they can help their team score. And that second point you gotta consider is you gotta attack with a skill. A skill is gonna buy you a little bit of time, a little bit of more space so that you can get a shot off. And this is great advice in a 1v2 or in a 1v3 when you're trying to get that overarching goal of making it a what? Making it, yes, a 1v1. You've got to make it a 1v1 to where it's so much easier for you to score and have success. Because if you got to take on 2, you got to take on 3 defenders at once, your coach is going to yell at you for doing that, for being silly. But if you can demonstrate that, hey, I just made that 1v3 or that 1v2 in a 1v1, then your coach isn't going to be so mad. Your teammates aren't going to be so mad for you just not having laid that ball off. So be smart about it. Make it easier on yourself. Take on 1, use a foot skill to pretend like you're going inside to attack them all, and then explode out in the direction where it gives you more space and all you got to beat is 1 defender. So what I mean by that is if we've got 2 defenders, basically you want to attack to the side of 1 of them. You don't want to go through the middle unless they're giving you a ton of space, but you want to attack to the side so that only 1 of them can really beat you. The other one's just going to be more or less useless. And that's what you want to do as a good striker. As you can see in the image, making a 1v2 into a 1v1 will make it way easier for you to succeed. Sure, there are instances where defenders are super far apart and you should aim to travel between them. However, it is often much easier to go a bit wider and shoot from the side than have 4 feet, 2 defenders trying to steal the ball or at least poke it away from you. So similar to that last video on the 1v1, in this video I want you to comment what is your favorite skill to use when attacking in a 2v1. Whether that be a shot fake, whether that be a jab step, whether that be a self pass, or if you've got a different skill that you want to work on, let me know in the comments below. I do recommend if you don't have a skill, if I ask that question you're like, oh, I really don't know, then I'd recommend watching the big 3 soccer skills so you know the big skills that you should know as a soccer player so that you can dribble past anyone. So what's that first thing we need to avoid? The most important thing is try to avoid making it a 2v1. Okay, you are going up against 2 defenders, you are 1 attacker. Don't make it so hard on yourself. Try to make it a 1v1. Be smart about it. Don't be heroic and try to take them both on. Dribble them each 3 times and then completely disrespect them by scoring on their goalkeeper. That's silly. That's such low probability. Instead, increase your chances so that you can get more goals and help your team by making it a 1v1, attacking 1, get to their outside so that you only got that 1 person to beat to get a shot off. Now, the second thing you want to avoid, probably the most important, is that you want to be smart. You want to be intelligent. You don't just want to take it full speed ahead and try to take on 2 players at once if you've got a better option for a pass. So one thing I always tell my trainees, look, 5 yards up the field. From here, you can still see my eyes. 5 yards up the field, I'm looking. I can see 30 yards, and guess what? I can still see the ball that's at my feet right now. So it's great so that I can see if there's a better pass to be made, because if you got a better pass to be made, you got 2 people covering you and person wide open, your entire team, including your coach, who decides how much time you play, is going to get mad at you and potentially pull you because you didn't play that open pass to your teammate. So how do we practice this? Similar to the 1v1, now we're going to do it as a 1v2, so I want you to grab 2 defenders, preferably. If you grab just 2 other soccer players, you guys can rotate on who attacks and who defends, but at all times you have 1 attacker, 2 defenders. Go inside the 18-yard box, and we're going the long way. So from one side of it to the other, not from the top of it to the goal line. We're going from side to side, and you're gonna have 1 person attacking and the 2 other people defending. So what you're gonna be using is your foot skills to try to make sure to get around them, make it a 1v1, attack one of them, get to the side and take the line, take the side all the way down. If you can get across without the ball getting dispossessed or poked away, the defenders don't get any points and you get a point. However, if the defenders poke the ball away, no one gets any point because in theory, they have 2, you have 1, they should be able to fully dispossess you. So if they fully dispossess you, then they get a point. So every time you rotate, each of you count up your points, go for I'd say 5 rounds and see who got the most points after all. So again, how you get points. If you're the attacker and you get it all the way across without the ball getting poked out of the square, out of the 18-yard box, or if they don't dispossess you, then you get a point. Next, if they poke the ball away, no one gets a point that round. And if they dispossess you, then they get the full point. Both defenders get a point. As a reminder, make sure to stick around to the end of this video for that pro tip you've been waiting for. Soccer squad. Since we are talking about a shooting and finishing topic in this video, the 1v2, this is in the second layer of the individual soccer player's pyramid. As a soccer player, start with passing and receiving because every soccer player needs that. If you can do that stuff, and I'm being honest here, if you can do that stuff, you are going to be such a better soccer player. You can literally pass your way into the net. You don't even need foot skills. You don't need to be able to shoot. If you can pass well enough, look at certain teams like Manchester City. Those guys under Pep Guardiola can pass like no other. A lot of their goals aren't even necessarily strikes or heroic 1v1s. They're literally just passing around the other team and passing the ball into the back of the net. So make sure to start with that so you become a very effective soccer player. Next, move to that second layer of the pyramid. You'll have a selection to make here. My recommendation is that if you're a defender, then go to the defending section and grab that book first and watch that video series first. If you're a midfielder, then go to dribbling and foot skills first. And if you're a forward, grab that shooting and finishing book first and watch this series. Continue to watch it. I really care about you and want to provide you as much value as possible. I want you to be able to be confident anytime you're in a 1v2 and so you know exactly what to do to double the number of goals you would normally have gotten in a 1v2 over the course of a season. If you want to learn more about what to do in a 1v1, 2v1, 2v2, and a 1v2, then grab the second book in the Understand Soccer series, Soccer Shooting and Finishing Today, on Amazon.com using the link in the description below. This book is available in paperback, audiobook, and ebook. And if you use the link in the description below for the audiobook to sign up with Audible, you can listen to this book for free by creating an account. So that pro tip you've been waiting for on when you should shoot versus when you should dribble. Now it's all dependent on you, on the soccer player, on your abilities, on your strengths, on your weaknesses. If you have a cannon of a shot, then not even trying to pass them, just getting enough space to shoot is completely appropriate in a 1v2 when you're going against 2 defenders. However, if you're Lionel Messi and can dribble 3, 4, 10 players at a time, then you don't need to be shooting from 25 yards out. You can try to take them both on. Ideally, you only take one on, use a foot skill, you accelerate by, create space so you can create enough room to take a shot or to continue dribbling so that you can then dribble the goalkeeper. So be cognizant of your strengths and weaknesses. If you're better at dribbling, then dribble to get closer to the net so your accuracy becomes better. If you've got a cannon of a shot and very accurate from range, then make sure that you're shooting at the first chance that you get because those defenders are going to be watching. They understand how good you are at one thing versus the other and they're going to try to cut that down. If you're a good shooter, they're not going to give you as much space on the outside of the 18-yard box to shoot. If you're a good dribbler, they're going to give you more space and try to entice you to shoot so that their goalie has a better chance of saving the ball from 20 yards away than they do from 8. So, Soccer Squad, let me know in the comment section below if you have any feedback on how I can make these videos better or if you have any suggestions for topics you'd love for me to cover in the future. And if you received value from this video, could you hit that like button? Subscribe and hit that bell notification icon to ensure you don't miss any future videos on building your soccer confidence. Also, you don't want to miss that next video on what to do when you're in a 2v1 and you're only going up against one defender and you have an extra attacker to help you in order to score. And if you haven't watched that video on what to do in a 1v1, then make sure to click here. And make sure to comment and let me know what's your favorite skill to use when you're in a 1v2, when you're taking on 2 defenders. Whether that be the self-pass if they reach in, the jab step to create space, a shot fake to buy some time. Let me know if it's those or maybe a different skill. And also, if you could, follow me on Instagram at Understand Soccer if you like fun soccer facts as well as soccer memes.